Merhaba, UEZ2024 Sapanca'da HSBC Global Baş Ekonomisti Janet Henry ile birlikteyiz. Kendisiyle global ekonomiyle ilgili konuşacağız. Hi. What kind of outlook do you expect in the global economy in 2024?
In 2024, we know that the world faces quite a complex geopolitical and political overlay, but different parts of the world are moving in different directions. What we've seen over the course of the last 6 months or so is that the US and India have been the particular areas of strength. We are actually looking for the US to slow down a little bit, but Europe, that's been stagnating over the course of the last 6 months or so, it's still much weaker than in the US, but we're looking for some modest improvement in growth. So our global growth forecast for this year is 2.6%, which is exactly the same as the long-held forecast that we've had for 2025, which is going to be an even more complex year politically, not least because of all the elections that are happening this year. So it's a kind of growth, but fairly low at the global level, and very similar this year and next year in terms of our outlook.
And when you look at the 2024, where do you see the upside and potential risks in the global economy?
Well, what we've seen in recent months is that the sharp decline in inflation that happened particularly in the second half of 2023 has kind of stalled. And actually in early 2024, we've seen some upside surprises to inflation, partly underlying inflation, service sector in particular, but those factors that were really responsible for the big drop in inflation, like energy in particular, that's no longer dampening inflation. We've actually seen the oil price rise a little bit, partly because of the geopolitical conflicts that are underway. But also where there is an area of uncertainty is really what's happening on the trade front. We did see some signs of improvement, some signs of it bottoming out, particularly for some Asian producers of certain electronics. But even that seems to have lost some speed. For instance, we've just had some US GDP data showed their exports were declining. So yeah, I think for trade-dependent economies, there's still a lot of uncertainty about what's happening to global investment and consumer spending demand, even in some of those economies like in the West, the US, and in emerging economies, India has been a particular areas of strength. They're unlikely to accelerate from here, even if they continue to outperform.
Thank you so much.